So this is the one of the famous framework. One is the hybrid framework is one of them. TestNG, JUnit is the inbuilt frameworks for the Java, right? Unit testing frameworks for Java. For C#, NUnit will be there. That's a unit testing framework for C# programming language. For Python, there is a PyTest. These are different unit testing frameworks. Please understand what are the unit testing framework for Java, JUnit and TestNG. Two are there. For Python, PyTest is there. For Ruby, TestUnit is there. For C#, NUnit is there. These are all unit testing frameworks already available in Selenium. But outside, without Selenium also people can use. Not necessarily Selenium. The developers will use JUnit and TestNG. So outside, they don't need to learn Selenium, right? So that's why those are the frameworks outside also available, open source frameworks, those are all. So always you can include in your interviews also, I know JUnit, TestNG, so all the annotations and practice them. And another one is BDD Cucumber framework and hybrid framework also you can tell. Hybrid is nothing but a mix of all the things. You can add a collection of all the frameworks basically. That's a hybrid framework means. And BDD Cucumber, before understanding, first let's understand what is TDD. So test-driven development. So it is where automation test cases are created and executed before developing the actual application. So development involves creating the minimum amount of code to make the failed test cases pass. So based on the results, the development will start coding to make the failed test cases to pass. So that's the TDD approach. So whereas from TDD, we got a BDD approach, behavior-driven development. So behavior-driven development approach. Basically, it is evaluated from the TDD. But here, the main focus is on the delivery. So which one you want to deliver first? So that's the main focus in the behavior-driven development. And also in this BDD approach, technical and non-technical people can easily understand which scenarios you are automating, which scenarios you are testing. Because, so a common understanding, businessable readable language will be used here. Business readable language will be used in this BDD approach. You will write your scenarios in plain English so that what you are testing, before coding, you will describe them very clearly in plain English format. So that's why, so even non-technical audience like a product owner and Scrum Masters, and they're all non-technical people, right? They won't understand the code. But by seeing this, you can easily understand, right? By seeing the plain English steps, the functional steps, the scenarios. And that's why many of the people prefer this behavior-driven development. What is the difference between behavior-driven development and hybrid framework? So you just analyze in the hybrid framework, did we declare anywhere the scenario, which are functional steps? Did we declare anywhere functional steps? In the hybrid framework, did we declare anywhere functional steps? Open the application and navigate to this page, enter username, password, click on sign in button. All these steps, anywhere did we write anywhere? No. All the functional steps in the hybrid framework.
No, sir. We can declare only method.
So we are declaring just methods and objects and calling them in the test cases. But nowhere, nobody, if you go non-technical level, they cannot understand hybrid framework. That's one drawback with hybrid and hybrid framework. But in the behavior-driven development, you can see clear instructions, the step-by-step navigation, everything clearly. Which scenario you are automating, you have to detailed steps you have to write. That is the manual test steps you have to write. So, but the way you write is a little bit different. The steps you will write differently. So that's the easiest way anybody can understand which scenario you are automating, and any scenario you are missing, they can catch easily with this behavior development. That's why many companies will prefer this BDD approach. So here also you can use Selenium. BDD will know. Here also you can use Selenium. No doubt in that. This BDD approach or methodology is supported by, there is a tool called Cucumber tool. Cucumber is a tool which supports the BDD framework, basically which is written in the Ruby programming language, and later it supports all the different programming languages also. So why we need to use Cucumber? Cucumber is an open source tool. It's a free to use. That's the first point. So with Cucumber, you can write test scripts in multiple languages like Ruby, Java, .NET, Python, multiple programming languages. You can write the automation test scripts. So it is also integrates with the Selenium, Ruby on Rails, Vatir, and other web-based testing tools. That's another third advantage. Cucumber is one of the most widely used BDD tools. There are other BDD tools also there. So JBehave, Protractor, and few more others also there to do this BDD framework approach. Okay, but Cucumber is one of the famous one. And so what are the main modules of the architecture of BDD Cucumber approach? What is the main architecture of BDD Cucumber approach? So this is the architecture of BDD Cucumber approach. So basically, Cucumber involves just 3 modules will be there. That's it. So the Cucumber architecture is this one: a feature files, StepDefinition files, testRunner. These are the 3 modules only will be there in the BDD Cucumber approach. So in the feature file, you will write all your features in the feature file. You will create a feature file. In the feature file, you will write all your scenarios. Plain English format with Gherkin keywords you will use. Gherkin keywords you will use. What are the Gherkin keywords? Feature, scenario, given, when, and then. These are the Gherkin keywords, we call them. These Gherkin keywords you will use to write your feature file. So your feature file must ends with a dot feature extension. Dot feature extension you will write. The feature file extension is dot feature. The file name dot feature is the extension you have to use. So the keyword, the feature keyword tells you what is the feature name you are automating, the feature name you have to write. Then in this feature can contain more than one scenario. Positive, negative, or many scenarios will be there under one feature. So scenario keyword is used to represent your scenario name, to describe your scenario, like login with valid credentials, one scenario. So another scenario you can write login with invalid credentials, another scenario. So like that you can declare multiple scenarios under one feature file. So scenario can contain this given, when, and can be used given after, when after, and then after also. And is just a joining operator, multiple conditions, multiple actions. Given, when you can use given, your preconditional steps. If you want to specify, you will use given keyword. When keyword, when you can use, there are some actions you want to do. Actions means like clicking on the button, checking the checkbox, selecting the radio button, and typing the value in the edit boxes. These are all action related steps. That action related steps you can write with when keyword. One action step, then if multiple action steps are there, next step you can use and keyword. Here also given multiple preconditions are there. First time you write a given, then the step name, and below one more precondition is there, then you use and. Instead of given one more time, don't write given one time only will write. When also one time only will write. Multiple conditions are there, multiple actions are there, you join with and. That all comes under when only. Here if you use given below and, that comes under given only. That means that is a precondition. Then means your expected results you can validate. If you want to validate some verifications, so you can do with the then. So expectations you want to verify, you can use then keyword. Given, when, then. These are the keywords, we call them Gherkin keywords. So what are the Gherkin keywords means? Feature, scenario, given, when, and then. There is a but also, but, but also there. You can use that also. And there is a background keyword also. So background keyword is mainly used if multiple scenarios are there in one feature file. Each scenario, some duplicate steps are coming up. Every scenario, you have to run some code that you are writing for every scenario, same steps. Instead of repeating the same steps, you write after the feature, you write a background, and every scenario after this background code will execute first like a before method. If we have a before method in the testng, right? That is the same here background. First that code will execute, it will go to scenario. Next scenario, if you want to execute, first background will execute, then it will go to second scenario. Again, background will execute, next third scenario. That means every scenario before, the background code will execute. That's the another keyword, background keyword. So some repeatable code for every scenario, you can place with a scenario background keyword you can use to write that step. If some step needs to be repeated for all the scenarios, instead of writing here again in each scenario, you can avoid that duplicate step. That duplicate steps, you can write single line with a background keyword. Something you want to repeat for every scenario, you can write with a background keyword after feature. After feature only you have to write. The same way feature, you write a background, then write the step name. So this is the feature file, how you are going to write. This normal file you will create. So normal file you create, but extension you should give dot feature extension you have to give. That's a feature file. And the next one is a step definition module. First is the feature module, all feature files will be there. Second module, step definition module. Here, every scenario you will implement, you will define each step in a Java method. So each method inside you will write a Selenium code. So every step you must implement in the step definition Java class. step definition module below, you will write a plain Java class. Each Java class inside, each step is followed by one annotation, given annotation, or when annotation, or then annotation, and that pattern you will write the step name itself, you will write here, then write the method structure. Public void method name is your step name is your method name. Parenthesis, then curly bracket start, curly bracket ends, and below that, that step related Selenium code you write it. Like, so for example, you have written, oh, launch the Chrome browser. So here you will write at the rate given bracket within double quotes, launch the Chrome browser. You will write the step as it is. Whatever the step name you have given, same step should come to your Java class in the step definition file. And it should match exact with letters also. Spaces, so letters, everything should match. If it is not matching, then your code won't execute. Some mapping you are giving, same step name you are writing here in the step definition Java file. And below you will write the method. After the pattern, you will write the method. In that method inside, you will write a Selenium code, driver dot get, and you will open the, so driver equal to new Chrome driver, right? That code you will write, launching the browser. So like that, each step is a function here in the step definition. You must implement each step in the step definition files. In plain Java code, so Java code in Java method inside Selenium code you will write. That's the how you can map a step in the step definition. If it is not matching, you will get a step mismatch exception, or some step is unimplemented. Please define the step. It will complain to you. Then once this step is done, step definition is all the scenarios you have to implement like this. Once this is done, then the final very important one is like this. Each feature file, you will develop in the step definition file separately. Then finally, testRunner class, where you will specify your runner class. In the runner class, you will use a JUnit. We are using JUnit here to run your classes. So run with suit Cucumber options you will use. This is the how you can run. Cucumber options is another very important. Basically, the testRunner class is a setting file. The starting point will be here only. So if you right click on this and your code will execute, you will mention where to look for the feature files. All the feature file you will mention in the Cucumber options below. So that is a feature keyword you will use Cucumber option. Then glue keyword is used to specify the step definition file location. Then so plugin is there, another plugin keyword you will use to specify the reports, HTML report, JUnit report, JSON report, all the reports you can generate in the project directory. You can give the project directory path where you need to generate the reports. Then there is a so monochrome option is there. These are all Cucumber options. Monochrome equal to if you put, and that will display the output in a readable format. And another one, you can run the tags also. So you can write the tags here. That tags, which tag you want to run, you can run using iterated tags, and tag name you can give. These are all the testRunner file you can specify. These are the 3 modules are there in the BDD Cucumber approach. That's what you explain, same thing. And then I have given already here very clearly, so that whatever I explained, that's good enough. See the feature. The feature describes the feature to be tested. Scenario describes the scenario name. Given sets the preconditions, then describes the action to be performed, and defines the additional condition of the test, then states the post condition. You can verify your expected and actual values if the then keyword. See the example here. Search in google.com website. I want to go to Google and search. So this is the description you are giving. See, say scenario. Navigate to Google website and perform search. That's my scenario name. So what are the steps given? Given I have a browser window open. When I navigate to google.com and search for Cucumber, then I should see Cucumber results page. See, all are matching with the steps you are writing. That's what how you are going to write a feature files. This is the how you are going to write a feature files. Okay. So what are the Gherkin keywords means? The Gherkin keywords means these are the Gherkin keywords. So feature, scenario, given, when, and, then, but, background. These are the Gherkin keywords. So these are also called BRDSL, Business Readable Domain Specific Language. So all these Gherkin keywords, anywhere you can use these keywords. And a step definition, I told you, a small piece of code with a pattern attached to it. Or in other words, you can say step definition is a Java file. So in the class, so Java file inside a Java method will be there. So in the method above, there is an annotation above it. So annotation followed by a pattern. So to link the step definition to all the matching steps in the feature file. So that's how you can map the feature file and step definition file. So this is how you will write. See, same, right? At the rate, given, bracket, within double quotes, the step name exactly you have to give that one. Then the same step name you can use as a method name. You don't need to worry about what method name you need to use. Same step name itself you give as a method name. See, public void user is on LinkedIn welcome page. See, same for step name itself is the method name. Then you can write the Selenium code here. Okay. And again, that method is over. Then at the rate when. See, is a step you are implementing here like this. Each step you have to implement like this. One more step, one more when step to this one. Click on sign out link. That code I am writing. Each step you have to write a Java method. So then you have to write this one. So this is how you are going to write your step definition file development. A test runner is, so these are all the test runners. See that. @run with cucumber.class, @cucumber options. This is the interview question. What are the cucumber options? So features. Features will look for the feature file path. Your feature file is there. Glue will look for the your step definition file path. Plugin will look for the your report, HTML report and JSON report and XML reports. Dry run will look for the dry run if equal to false if report. The mapping between feature and step definition file is done properly, or any step you missing, and this will catch that easily. Any undefined steps are there, it will say there are undefined steps, please implement that first, it will say. So monochrome, another one is there. Monochrome equal to false or true you give, then a console will be in readable format. That's all about this. The Cucumber options is, it's like a property file or settings for your test case. So basically Cucumber options enables us to do all the things what you want to do, how to run the test case, which one you want to run, which one you don't want to run, everything you can control from this testRunner file. Okay, so that's all 3 modules. So this is how you will give. Monochrome equal to true you give, not false. So true if you give, and it will readable format you will get. Features will look for the feature file location. Glue will look for the step definition file location. So you give the full path also. Again, we'll look for the reports, HTML reports. HTML reports, JSON reports, and XML reports you will get. See the tag. How to run particular tag? We can run the Cucumber test using tags also. The Cucumber test cases you can run based on the tags also. Like you give a scenario above smoke. So the smoke test case only if you want to run, you can run. Just give like this. Tags equal to, so curly bracket inside, you put a tag name. Automatically only that tags will execute for you. There is one more scenario I have explained, right? There is one more scenario outline. So why you will use scenario and scenario outline? What is the difference between scenario and scenario outline? Scenario is a simple scenario with multiple steps. But scenario outline is, if you want to do a data-driven testing, you can do with a scenario outline. So this is used, scenario outline is used to run same scenario for 2 or more different sets of test data. Then you can use scenario outline. Basically, data-driven testing can be done with a scenario outline. With a scenario, you cannot do data-driven testing. So scenario outline is followed by examples table section. Examples table section is followed by, so scenario outline is mandatorily should have example section below your scenario. So all scenario outlines have to be followed with example section. So this contains the data that has to be passed to the scenario. Which data you want to pass for your step, you can mention here. So with these 5 symbols. So first one is a heading. So this parameter name you will give right here. That parameter name is the heading. This parameter name is the heading. You will give in the steps parameters. The parameters you will give here. Then you can give all your test data like this. All your test data you can specify here. Okay. So that's this scenario outline. Scenario means single scenario. But scenario outline, why you will use? For a data-driven testing purpose. You want to run same scenario, multiple sets of data. You will use scenario outline in the BDD Cucumber. Okay, that's the answer you have to do. So what is the data tables in Cucumber? That's another question. So data tables means we'll pass the test data using data table like this. Step below itself, you can give your test data like this. This is called data table. But how you can call this data in the test case, in the StepDefinition? So this is what I'm showing here. You can see that. Same this data I'm calling in my test case. See how I'm calling. See, user enters credentials to login, right? User enters credentials to login, same step. This step name itself I have written here. This belongs to this and belongs to when only. So that's why I have written @when. @when. Then public void user enters test and this one data table. User credentials, you have to write the sub. This is the data type, right? Data type. Data table is a data type. And this is the parameter name. So now this will return list of strings. List of string it will return. So as a list. Credentials dot as a list. And you are storing here in the list. So then you're getting the first row. This is the first row, first column. So that's what data dot get of 0. The list, how can you get the data using get method, right? Data dot get of 0 dot get of 0. This means a row count, column count. So this is the username you are getting. The password, how can you get? So send keys of data dot get of 0 dot get of 1. This is the password in the second column, right? That's why get of 1 we are giving. Row is same row. And if you want multiple, use a loop. For loop use. So automatically a loop will iterate and you use the I and j here. I and j to iterate the multiple rows are there. You can use the loop. So this is how you can use the data tables. Data tables, what you are using as a list method you have to use. Remember that, okay? This is the data tables how to use. With the data tables also you can do, and even scenario outline also you can use. Okay, so that's the how you can do data driven testing in BDD Cucumber. This is the interview question. See, this is the all the questions also I have given. Difference between scenario outline and data table. So scenario outline uses the example keyword to define the test data for the scenario. This works for the whole test case. But data table doesn't use any keyword to define the test data. Step below itself, only for that step, the data will be applicable, not for entire test case. That's a data table concept. Okay. So you have to write a separate code in the StepDefinition file to call the data from FeatureFile to StepDefinition file. So this is the how you can write. So explain to them, and the questions here you will get is mainly I have given here very clearly all the step by step, so you can follow this. We'll see that how to install this BDD Cucumber in our Eclipse also. I'll show you. So the questions I'm giving here. So what is the difference between hybrid framework and BDD Cucumber framework? That's the first question. Second question, so what is a BDD framework? And so what are the architecture of BDD Cucumber framework? And next question they will ask, so what is a background keyword? So what are the Gherkin keywords? And what is the difference between scenario outline and scenario? They will ask, are scenario outline and data table? These are the two different questions they might ask you. Please get the proper answers and get ready for that. Okay, so let's move on to our the proper structure I have given very clearly here with all the step names. See, I have written here code also. See exactly what we need to do. I have given very clearly. So I'll show you that. Let's first let me stop here theory part.